Something to say? Let's hear it. Give us a call at 869-465-2555. Monday to Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. One solid hour of in-depth analysis of the machinery that makes our country tick. The Edge, cutting into the matters at hand.
Good morning, St. Kitts and Nevis, and welcome to The Edge for Wednesday, April 17th, 2024. I'm Devonne, Cornelius, and thank you so much for joining me on the program for today. A pleasant morning to all our listeners here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM, those of you in St. Kitts and Nevis, the Caribbean, USVI, BVI, the USA, the United Kingdom, Canada, and other parts of the world. So I should say good morning, good night, good morning, good afternoon, and good night, depending on where you are residing in the world. But thank you so much for joining me on today's edition of The Edge. I am your host, Devonne Cornelius. The numbers to call when we open the phone lines later are 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. This program is also being carried live on ZIZ TV, as well as our social media platforms. You can check us out on our YouTube channel, that is ZIZ, and our Facebook page, ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation. Again, thank you so much for joining, and I look forward to having a fruitful conversation with you for today. Now, every day I bring a different topic for us to discuss and give callers the opportunity to weigh in and lend their contribution to the discussion at hand. But today I want to hear from you, the listeners of 96.1 FM. What is on your mind in regards to what is happening in St. Kitts and Nevis, or things happening in the region that you feel would have some sort of relation or impact on St. Kitts and Nevis and on the international stage as well. And so it will be an open discussion for today. I like to do this from time to time to give callers the opportunity to share their views and opinions on things happening in the country, and to have a meaningful conversation with you. Before I do so, however, I would like to share a few things with you so that you are informed in terms of what is happening with St. Kitts and Nevis. Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, held successful meetings with investors to secure funding for geothermal energy plant. And I'll just share this that came from the press secretary, Adelsia Conifer-Lance. It reads, Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, continued his efforts in securing funding for and building strategic partnerships with the K&K Group, a prominent UAE-based investment firm, to initiate the groundbreaking geothermal energy project in the Federation. This partnership marks a significant step toward the country's commitment to renewable energy security as it furthers its agenda to a sustainable island state. Dr. Drew stressed the importance of trusting partnerships in creating an enabling environment that will facilitate investment in the Federation. According to Dr. Drew, quote, this project is one for the history books. It will enable St. Kitts and Nevis to significantly reduce its reliance on fossil fuels thereby lowering its carbon footprint, preserve its natural resources, and contribute to global efforts to combat climate change, thus ensuring a healthier environment for future generations. During the development phase of the project, we will create new employment opportunities, drive economic growth, and foster sustainable development across both islands and the wider region. End of quote. During the discussions with Dr. Sief, chairman of the K&K Group, Dr. Drew repeated his government's commitment to involving local communities in the project, providing opportunities for education and training in sustainable energy technologies, and empowering residents to contribute to the nation's development. Prime Minister Drew expressed his gratitude to the investors for their confidence in the country's potential and commitment to advancing this important initiative. The government looks forward to a fruitful collaboration and is excited about the transformative impact this project will have on the nation's energy landscape. Further details about the project and the collaboration will be provided in the coming weeks. The government remains dedicated to keeping the public informed as the project progresses. And that is a statement, or a press release rather, from the Office of the Press Secretary, or the Press Secretary, Alias Sekana Lance, regarding successful meetings held with investors to secure funding for the geothermal energy project. It is 6 minutes past the 11 o'clock hour, and if you're just tuning in, you're listening to The Edge for Wednesday, April 17th, 2024. I am Devonne, Cornelius, and thank you so much for joining me on the program for today. As I mentioned earlier, I want to have an open discussion, so it's an open line, giving you the callers the opportunity to call and speak on things happening in the country, things happening in the Caribbean region that relate to St. Kitts and Nevis, and even on the international stage. And so you can do so now by calling 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. Those are the numbers that you call to participate in the conversation for today. As I mentioned, I do this from time to time to hear from our listeners. You know, what is on your mind and what is your view, what is your opinion on things related to St. Kitts and Nevis and matters of national importance. So I want to hear from you. The phone lines are open and we will begin taking some calls again. 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. Do we have any callers? Have any callers on the line? We'll take some calls now. Hello caller, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Devonne.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm good, man. I'm good again, as usual.
All right. Good to hear. Keep it that way.
Okay. I try my best.
All right.
No, I'm glad it's an open thing, but, we should come with everything truthful and constructive. Now, Devonne, if you and I are two livestock farmers, let's say both of us have sheep, and every morning we let out the sheep out the pen, and we lead them down a road to destruction where you got wolves down there waiting to kill them. And the sheep then realize every time they go down there, the wolf them eat one or two. One of these days, the sheep them not gonna believe that we're gonna take them to a safe place. They're not gonna follow us because they see what happened to the younger ones and the older ones. Now, saying that to say this. We are the leader. Me and both of us were the leaders of the sheep, and they were depending on us to lead them to safe haven. Now, Dr. Joe, as the leader of the country, Dr. Joe have said on more than one occasion that the former administration, before his administration, in the 7 years they were in government, they did nothing, absolutely nothing. Well, I will ask Dr. Joe, again, if I have the opportunity, which administration built the new road on Old Road Bay? And which administration build the new cruise pier? And which administration installed the traffic lights and many more? But I'll stop there at that. Let me hear what he would say, because he keeps saying they did nothing, and it's not his administration who put them in place. And that is wrong for anybody to mislead people with what they're telling them, and they know what they're telling them is not true. Thank you, Devonne.
All right, Carter, thank you so much for your contribution to the program. It is 11:09. The phone lines remain open. Have another call? Let's hit this one. Okay, we lost that caller. Hello, caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Yes, good. It's interesting that you're describing the meeting in the Middle East as successful. I think the proof of the pudding is in the eating. You know, we still have to wait for results. I think I heard the Prime Minister saying at one time that he don't like to give out information on things like upcoming projects and so on until they're in an advanced stage. So we could only hope that when the meeting is described as successful, it would mean that in fact investors are indeed coming, and that the geothermal project at least will be well on its way, because that's seen as the panacea for a lot of our developmental thrust. So let's hope that it was indeed successful, and the fruits will be seen soon. What I would like to talk about this morning, though, is how we are dealing with the crime issue. Okay? Mm-hmm. We know the old saying: if you keep doing the same things over and over again, you certainly can't expect the same result. You certainly can't expect the same result, right? You have to do something different in order to get different results. And I'm afraid that we have not brought anything new to our approach on solving the crime issue, right? One of the things we have not tried, and it would be nice if this administration really takes steps in that direction, we have really not tried a non-partisan, all-inclusive approach to crime. We talk about it, we all say that that's the way to go, but in actual practice we don't do that, right? What we have is it's still a very much partisan issue. If it's one thing that should be non-political, it should be crime, our approach to crime, to solving crime. And what we've had for the past years, and still have, okay, because I haven't seen anything different, is that the entrenched government try something with the aim of claiming credit for its success, right? That seemed to be the prime motive. So you don't take into account things that were done in the past. You don't try to include as wide a stakeholdership as possible, right? Because you want to claim credit for it. And I don't think that is the way to go. We want an all-inclusive approach where opposition and government and all other stakeholders in the society are on the same platform, on the same wavelength when it comes to the crime issue. So that if it is solved, then the credit don't belong to any one person or one group, it belongs to all of us. And similarly, if it fails, so that failure is on all of us as well. Mm-hmm. That is where we have to get to, where everybody is on the same page insofar as crime is concerned. So it becomes a non-partisan, non-political issue, and so the politics will be totally taken out of it, and we focus on solving the problem. Mm-hmm. I don't think we've tried that yet, mm-hmm. right? We have adopted a very partisan approach.
I want to say something in response, and I hear you, and I do understand where you're coming from, right? But I'm thinking about it in terms of your suggestion is to have all sides and all of society approach where everybody is involved in this process of responding to criminal activities in St. Kitts and Nevis. But look at this. Look at this. Every single political party in St. Kitts and Nevis has had an opportunity to govern the country. Labour, PAM, NRP, CCM, PLP, all of them have had an opportunity to govern the country, right? Which means if they all had an opportunity to govern St. Kitts and Nevis, what stopped them from implementing their ideas at that particular point in time? So what stopped Labour then? What stopped PLP then? What stopped PAM then? NRP, CCM? That is the point. I'm not disagreeing with you, but
well, I can answer that.
What exactly do you see?
You see, Devonne, right? Where although you've had different administrations, you'd notice that pretty much the responses have been the same, you know. Just look at it. Strengthening the police, having the social interventions, paying for peace, as we call it, just change the name to Elevate. You know, all these things we've tried all of that on the successive administrations. So what we have not tried is everybody coming together and hammering out what we consider the best response. And anytime there's division in the response, anytime, for instance, a government tries something and the opposition always feel that they have to attack that response. And that in itself is a recipe for failure. It does not suggest that we have a unified all of society approach. And so I'm saying cut that out by including everybody so that everybody have a stake. If you criticize what is being done, then you're criticizing your input into it as well, right? Rather than making it seem as if, well, I can do better, right? There's nobody with any answer to crime. It's so complex an issue that it really demands, if anything demands, an all-inclusive approach where all minds get together and decide on the way forward. It's crime. That is what we need, and that is, I think, is what's been missing over the years. So I think we should at least try that and see if it works, right? I don't think, I mean, I've heard an interview there with, I think it was, it wasn't an interview as such, but they apparently sent a letter, PAM sent a letter to the government asking for a meeting, and then you got a response basically more like a counter and saying pretty much the same thing you said. Well, you were there, give us information on this, right? That is not the way. You don't want a hostile approach to things, right? You want to solve the problem. And so this jousting, this you know, playing some kind of boxing match where one punches and one counter punch, that is not going to do it. And that does not give the criminals, well, it actually gives the criminals some kind of encouragement, and they know that they are not faced with a unified country. All right. So let's try that approach instead. Okay?
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution to the program. The phone lines remain open. Let's head back and take this one. Caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Host.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, I crave indulgence. I would like to extend my deepest sympathy to the last three victims in particular who lost their life by violence. One is living in challenges.
We lost that caller. We lost that caller. You can, phone lines remain open. You can try us back at 465. We have a call on the line. Let's take this call. Hello, caller.
Yes, I got cut off. I don't know.
Hello. Yes, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, I said I'm extending my deepest sympathy on the death of the last three victims by way of violence. You know, I am living here in the area, Arthurtree, and one victim is in Challengers and one in Middle Island. These are very close-knitted communities. And so it's really devastating, especially for one, I understand, had 6 children. I haven't heard the death announcement, the other one. And those 6 children are innocent to all of these real ignorance that is taking place. It's very sad. You know, young men are called by God. He said, I call you young men because you're strong. And when I see the lives of these young men are just going so, I only could say the enemy who came to steal and to kill and destroy. That's his mission. And so I am calling really on our federation, those persons, to still continue to pray. Continue to pray. I heard a caller speaking about coming together. But even worldwide, Mr. Host, when you listen to the Security Council, they always split. They never could come to a joint understanding in bringing some kind of peace to the world. They split in their own interests, Russia and China, America, and so the world really would never see peace until Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, come back to bring peace on this earth. He said, come and see what the Lord have done. See amazing things he have done on earth. He stopped wars all over the world. He break the bow, destroyed spears, and set shield on fire. Stop fighting, he says, and know that I am God, supreme among the nations, supreme over the world. And this is the hope we have in Jesus Christ. Nobody can come together. It's sad, it's very sad. And so there's hope for mankind.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller, so much for your contribution. We'll take a break. We have a caller? Okay, let's take this call and then we'll take a break. Hello, caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, gentlemen. I didn't even want to call after Mark Mahan came as the second to last caller because of the fact that he would have sent the point home. And we are aware, if you have worked in any organization before, any company, if the staff fight against each other, the company is in trouble. If parents fight against each other, the children go disarray. So you have the same thing that McMahon was explaining. If government, ministers, elected representatives are fighting among each other, crime going to take on its own life. And so therefore, they have to come together on this matter. Because if they don't, we're going to have chaos. Someone made a comment and say, well, one government was in power, they did not solve it. This government was in power, they did not solve it because of the same reason. No unity. Crime is everybody else's concern and everyone's concern. Unless somebody else seeing what we're not seeing, somebody hopefully may be benefiting from crime happening. So they could stabilize their business, they could get a good security system, whatever they could get. But at the same time, it affects everyone at the end of the day. So politicians need to come together. Neighbors need to come together. And not only that, teachers, lawyers, doctors, and police to come together to prevent crime from happening. Mark Mahan made the point already, so I need not go on. I think I have said enough.
All right.
Have a good day.
All right, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue our conversation. You're listening to The Edge for Wednesday, April 17, 2024.
From the heart of ZIZ Radio comes a political talk show like no other. The Edge, with host Devonne Cornelius giving you his take on the biggest stories happening in governance today. Got something to say? Let's hear it. Give us a call at 869-465-2555, Monday to Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. One solid hour of in-depth analysis of the machinery that makes our country tick. The Edge, cutting into the matters at hand.
Get ready, St. Kitts and Nevis, for the first annual Jesus in the City Parade and Festival on Saturday, May 18th, 2024 at the Warner Park Stadium. Celebrate love for God and love for people throughout the city with festive floats, live gospel bands, choirs, costumes, banners, and paraders filling the streets of downtown Bastille with praise and worship. The opening festivities kick off at 11 a.m. with the parade leaving Warner Park Stadium at 12 noon, moving along city streets and returning to the stadium for a grand gospel concert celebration. Enjoy music featuring special international guest artists, local bands, food and festivities for the whole family. Come lift up the name of Jesus in the city on Saturday, May 18th, 2024. To register your church, enter a float, secure a vendor booth, or to become a sponsor, visit jesusinthecity.com or call 662-8911.
Jesus in the city, hands in the air.
Join us every Wednesday for In Focus, a weekly talk show produced by the St. Kitts Nevis Information Service, where we provide exclusives with key persons within the government and discuss pertinent, relevant, and interesting matters that affect us all. Tune in every Wednesday, live on ZIZ Radio and streamed live on Facebook at SKNIS Media and ZIZ Online. In Focus, your government, your business.
Hello and welcome back to The Edge here in ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I'm Devonne, Cornelius, and thank you for joining me in the conversation for today. It is 11:26. Before we take some more calls, I wanted to chime in on what the callers were saying. The first caller spoke to the meeting with some of the callers spoke to, meeting with the investors, and if the meeting was successful, then we should see some fruits or some action real soon in terms of geothermal. And the last couple callers, they focused on the crime issue and what exactly is the response. One caller in particular, two of the callers, made mention of an all-of-society approach and having all hands on deck. A non-partisan approach was the specific term that the caller used. And, basically saying that politics has no business in crime. Crime is everybody's business except politics, and that should not be a part of it. I understand and I agree with what the caller is saying, that there needs to be an all-of-society approach in terms of having everybody you can think of to address the problem. But when he made that statement, I thought about, and the point I made earlier, I thought about, if you're going to look at the political parties and the different ideas that they have, all of them have been at the helm. Maybe it's a case where they now have new ideas, new strategies, and it wouldn't hurt to, let's hear from this person, let's hear from that person as to what they would like to bring to the table or offer to a solution to crime. But I did a simple Google search. A simple Google search just a while ago and asked, how do we solve crime? And it led me to a website that listed 20 strategies for reducing crime in cities. And the first one was to help victims of crime. And it says there is far too little support for victims of crime, even though it is the most obvious place to start. Prior victimization, a person or a place is a top predictor of future victimization. Supporting people who have been victimized from being victimized again through social support and target hardening has numerous potential for positive change. The second one says, not the second one, sorry. there's another one that mentioned improving the job market and job training. For me, that one stood out in terms of training and getting people equipped to help themselves. The other one said community-based violence interruption. And so the community must also be a part of the problem. Now, what I would say towards this list here, I think an effort has been made over the years to punch on all of these strategies, tackling the causes and consequences of poverty, shortening the reach of the criminal justice system, help those with substance use disorders, support programs for high-risk young people and their families. I think over the years all of these have been touched. So why are we still not there yet? Let's head back to the phone lines and we'll take some more calls. We think we have 465-2555. Let's take this call.
Good morning, Devonne.
Good morning. How are you?
Not too bad.
All right.
First, I always want to thank the Father for this Federation of St. Nevis. Thank the Father for life. Because without life, you cannot perform. And without a blessed country, and a country that where we could do better as elderly and young people, and try to encourage one another, I believe that we in a blessed country, but because the ignorance you, we will prevent things or cause things to happen. Now, Brother Devon, my little topic this morning is about young men who are willing to really work. And the ill treatment they get some of these bassmen, who call contractor or bassman or whatever. I pass on many jobs, Devon, and see young men there working. And the bad word, and the things them the contractor go on with these young men. Devon, he ain't call for. He ain't call for Devon. We're trying to encourage these young men to work. And these young men are trade man, some of them is trade man, they're running backs. Some of them the plastering and doing the work. And the kind of ignorance you hear from some of these men, these boss men. But the ball up to this man, I call in on the next way to talk, and I talk about it. And a grandfather, man who could be a great grandfather, come tell me fast. Me not call in that. I try to protect the young man them, to encourage them. I try to encourage these bassmen not to talk to the young man them, encourage the young man them when they come on a job to get a job. You know what I mean? To do better.
Yes.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And these are the things we got to face. When you can't talk the positive thing about the country, talk about the young people, people try to discriminate you and talk on a negative thing about you. Eh? But we got to encourage the young people them. They don't do the Spanish them, so they do the Jamaican them, so bust up the bad word from them. But they want people them. Showing up these bad ones going on with the guys them, and the guys them willing to work, and the guys them out there willing to work.
All right.
But they don't want them back in slave again. Okay, then, Brother Devon.
All right, caller. Thank you for your contribution to the program. Let's take this other call. Hello, caller. Good morning.
Yeah. Devon, things supposed to start at the head and end at the tail. But in this case, this crime case, it seems like it starts in the middle. No. When a political party win the election and they're supposed to be sworn in as the administrator to run the country, what did they all say? They pledge allegiance to the country? No. They pledge allegiance to the king or queen, whosoever on the throne, the heirs and successors. So therefore, right now they're fighting against the Bible. The Bible says the thief cometh not but for to kill and destroy. And if the thief won't come in your house, you did not give them any permission to come, but they come in and you see them and they kill you. And then you're going to tell me now who they swear allegiance to. Going to tell you that you cannot kill back the person if your family catch them killing you, you cannot kill them back in your house. They're going to tell you you cannot do that. So that is giving the criminal them who could kill Oh, well, I could go in Mr. Tom house, Mr. Joe house, and kill him, and I will get away. So therefore, you got to look at it where it started. If we say we are an independent nation, well, how come them up they got to tell us, well, you can't hit back Bonansi if we kill Botokoma children them. Thank you, Devonne.
All right, caller. Thank you for your contribution to the program. It's 11:34, and you're listening to The Edge for Wednesday. We have a call on the line. Okay, that was the caller that left there. There's a caller? Let's take this one. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Good morning.
Morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Now, I've been hearing all kind of talk over the years about crime and how it can be solved. And all kind of input people are making. But only one simple thing. They're going over and they're going around. But no one wants to go through the book. No one, let me say again, no one wants to go through the book. To solve the crime problem, it is in the book. Go here. And it is expressed, it is spoken about in the book of Deuteronomy. But let me say that, let me use the book of Numbers chapter 35. Numbers chapter 35, reading from verse 30, go right down to the end, and the answer is right there to start solving the crime. Nothing to do with politics, nothing to do with the politicians. No. All we need to do is to stick with what the book says. And when we do that, I believe the crime problem will be solved. Numbers chapter 35, beginning from verse 30, go down to the end. And that is all I have to say to that. Go back to the book. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution to the program. So, crime. You know, I mentioned earlier that I did a short Google search and it listed 20 strategies, right? In terms of how do we, I'm going to pause on the callers, I want to make this point quickly. How do we address crime? And the caller made the point that for years we've been talking about different ways of addressing or reducing criminal activity within our community. For me, I am not going to be a part of the blame game and say, well, it is that person's fault, or they are responsible for it, or he or she is responsible for it. I think it is time for us to move past that stage and tackle it head on. Now, I made the point earlier that all of these strategies have been looked at and are actively being looked at. But there's a caller who would make the point that if you're hell-bent on committing a crime and you've already made up your mind, then it appears as if there is no turning back for that individual. It appears as if there is no turning back for that individual. But I wouldn't say that successive administrations and different groups and organizations have not tried. They have all tried. They have all tried to address the issue of crime and violence, whether it be at the local scene in St. Kitts and Nevis and looking at our neighbors in the region. Recently, they came together, that is Caribbean leaders, to look at crime as a public health issue, where they've been having meetings and meeting with technocrats and the different bodies, the law enforcement agencies. How do we address the problem? So they have been looking at different ways. I think it is safe for us to come to the conclusion that you can't stop crime, you can't end it, you can't completely eradicate it. You could significantly reduce it, and quite frankly, that is the harsh reality. But we must be involved in the process. Can't stand on the sidelines and say, well, we want this to be done, but we're not doing what is necessary to ensure that it is done. It's 11:39 and you're listening to The Edge for Wednesday, April 17th, 2024. I am Devonne Cornelius and the phone lines are open. We're taking your calls at 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. We await your calls. But in the meantime, to continue on the point, I'm seeing things being done. Opportunities are being offered through the Elevate program. I think it was PS Naima Hazel who spoke about the different training sessions and the different aspects of the Elevate program that they have since rolled out. We know that the police force has a number of community-based programs and social programs. So they are there, and they, from my point of view, they're trying to reach out. Maybe they're slacking in certain areas that they need to pull up their socks. I'll take that. But they're trying, and they have been trying over the years. What is the community doing? I'm not casting any blame. Please don't misunderstand me. But this is also a part of the all of society approach. If you ask me, I have no answer as to how we solve crime, how we fix it, how we stop it completely. I don't know. But maybe you have an idea that you could possibly share. And that person might have an idea. And you bring those ideas together. And you may significantly reduce it. But that is why the conversation needs to continue. Because the conversation has been going on for quite some time. It has been going on for quite some time. It's 11:41. I do want to hear from the callers, however, so call us at 465-255 or 718-577-2916. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM, and we are also live on our TV channel and social media platforms. Call us and share your view, your point on the topic at hand. Is more of an open discussion, but we've segued a bit into the criminal activity. You have a caller? Okay, let's take this one. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, McMahon is so right. He coming to his senses. It was wrong first, and they must get it right now. Do not do foolishness. And when people not working, they get frustrated. That's where they shoot. The government go around and see the area where the boys them be and get something for them. Thank you.
All right, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution to the program. And I made the point earlier, jobs and training and all of these things must also be a part of the conversation. Jobs and training. Now, a caller made the point earlier about young men on construction sites and different sites and so on, them being ill-treated, which I thought of something immediately. For me, I don't like to paint people with a broad brush. And in this case, I'm referring to young people. And I guess I'm biased here because I am a young person. But oftentimes we are quick to pull down and tear down young people, right? When in fact we know, but we willfully ignore those who are making a positive difference or making a positive impact in their community. We ignore those, man, they're trying. We ignore them. And sometimes they reach out and say, boy, I really want to try something positive in my community. And at times, they don't get the support. So yeah, you do have some young people who are delinquent and lazy and confusion. I'm not going to hide away from saying that because it is the fact. But what about those who are trying to do something positive with their lives? What about them? So you have the lazy ones who are being given the opportunity for whatever skills training, whatever jobs, but they're just lazy, they don't want to work, and they just love handouts. And we need to get our people away from that mindset that you must always be getting a handout to survive. You must work for what you want. What is so hard to understand in that? While at the same time, there are other people who have been working and they work hard. From 6 to 6, they're going to make a difference in their community. So yes, you have the lazy ones who just ain't want to do nothing productive with their lives. And you have those who want to make the change, who want to be the change that they want to see in their community. We have some callers on the line. I believe so, yes. Let's hear from these callers. Hello, caller. Good morning and welcome to the program. I think we lost that one. No, I'm not hearing that one. Let's take this one. Okay, we lost that caller. You have any more callers? Okay, we lost the callers. Please call us back at 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. It's 11:45 and we will wrap up just before noon for the midday newscast. Let's take this call. Hello, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning to you too. You do the talking and the lower the thing. Now we had something. The Attorney General said that if the minister's salary increase, the parliamentarians, if they get more money, then they're likely to be corrupted, meaning they're likely to thief and the wrong thing. No more so the people at the bottom. The people at the bottom. The government, previous government, the House, the Unity Administration, recognize the economic factor, the money thing in the crime, and try to do something not only with the peace program, but also with the PAP. Poverty is really the crime. The police don't patrol and police the rich and powerful. What this administration did was take all them support, income support, from the people and tell them, level up. They know how they're going to reach up to you. When you take one of the means that they had, the people can reach up. I'm saying though, you had a model. You had something, and regardless to all the run and gimmicky and run around, it did work. And the reason that it worked is because the people who are victims themselves on either side were the people involved. They felt a part of what was happening, not a program that somebody put together and hand me. No. Bless God.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution to the program. You're listening to The Edge. Let's take this call.
Yeah, Devonne, me again. Up to last night, I was in a discussion with with two gentlemen. And we was discussing this almost the same thing when Mr. McMahon talked about. I was telling them that it's time enough now we stop politicizing these things. Crime, the water problem. Because none of this sometimes is the government fault. I mean, sometimes government got to fight or something. If they do projects or do reservoir or do different things to help do water catchment. You know? I was telling them that if the water in Cairn come out to be pure and good, I believe that opposition and everybody should have endorsed the government. Just like when the unity government was in, and they do things that will benefit the country, everybody should have endorsed it, even who in government. But we ain't getting this. We're getting this every time. You hear some of the ministers of the government talk, the opposition talk, they sound like the campaigning, they sound political. Right? Devonne, there's a time and a place for everything. And if we want to see good for our country, and see our country go forward, and we love our country and love our people, we're supposed to start these things and commend one another when they do good things. We can't always play politics because if this playing politics, it ain't gonna always work. Just to get a vote or get a seat. And this is the problem, you know. This is the problem. One of them was saying that anytime the Prime Minister for the press conference, he sounded like a campaigning. I said, this is not the nature of the politics, the nature of the game. And I said that, and the next young man said that, but you know, we got to come positive and so positive, you know, and showing that the politicians everything about the country, about things what happen in the country. I was telling them about the pier, I was telling them about the oil and mill road and these things, and the opposition was but there, they're getting government, and then in there are these things, and it's time enough now that we, as citizens, and them is elected representative who have elected us, and them is elected opposition, when they go in parliament, talk good and comment one another when they do good. Not always politicize things. All these things get the people more ignorant and more violent and everything. All right, then you have a wonderful day.
All right, you do call, and thank you for your contribution to the program. Let's take this call.
Hey, Devonne. The book of Ecclesiastes in the Bible says, to every season there is a purpose, a time for everything. Now, Devonne, the Bible also says, the love of money is the root of all evil. When you, Devonne, go work hard and honest for your daily bread, and then you're going to hire me to do a job for you, and then I'm going to come and give you chibo that does not value the money that I charge you. Devonne, you may not be a person who says, well, okay, you're going on your knees and put it to the Lord. It ain't everybody going to pray to God for them kind of thing. That's why you have the devil and you have God. Some going to choose the devil as a helper, the guide. Some going to choose God. So when people do wrong things to people, that does provoke people to do other wrong things. Thank you, Devon.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution. Do we have any more callers? Yes, we do. Hello, caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Devon, good morning.
Good morning.
I didn't plan to call in. I just plan to listen to the talkers. I mean, like culture, Mr. McMahon, Henry, and other people who giving their input. But sometimes when some people talk, get to me to say, look, you're not a person like this. Go and express yourself. Because we have this fourth Prime Minister in this office, right? And when he went into office, why he all time lamenting that the past government hasn't done anything. And I could remember, if I could recall that Dr. Timothy Harris never wondered that Dr. Douglas never did anything. His duty was to go in and see what he can do for the citizens of the country. Not to bring them a previous government in office. That is not the style. But this Prime Minister, all the time speaking about what did the past government did. And what are he doing? The question, and that is why the crime will be going on, because he's not doing anything. He's starting something, he has to close off. Start up something again, he has to close off. Because he has some young girls in night. They don't want to work. They just want to know they could go by XYZ today, XYZ tomorrow. And that's the lifestyle. You need the ministers to be in, like Mr. Akasani. He used to be in Central looking out for the people. And up to now, I haven't seen the minister that we put in Central, in Central, looking out for the people.
All right.
And that is why crime will go up, because people want money in the pocket. And look out for the children. You have a good day.
All right, caller, you too, and thank you for your contribution to the program. You've been listening to... We have a caller? Okay, let's take this call. Hello, caller, good morning. You're on the air. I'm not getting that caller. I think we probably lost the caller. Hello, caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. I'm here again. What I'm saying is simply this. That I've listened to all the talks over the years. And there's only one simple answer. God's word, the Bible. To solve this current problem, man cannot solve it themselves. We cannot solve it ourselves. Because the Bible is the book of mankind, and it is the book for mankind. It tells us the do's and the don'ts. And if we fail to do what the Bible says, we're going to find ourselves running in problems after problems. And as I mentioned earlier, we can find the answer in the book of Numbers chapter 35, reading from verse 30, coming on down to the end. And the answer is right there. The answer is right there to all these kind of questions. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution. It is 11:54. Let me use this opportunity to say thank you so much for your contribution, your participation in today's edition of The Edge. Until next time, you guys stay safe and continue to enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Don't drink and drive, don't text and drive, and you have a good one. See you tomorrow, same time, same station. Stay tuned. Coming up next is the ZIZ Midday Newscast.